Hi guys, I know I did mention in my last video that that was my last run on Jessie's stage, but I decided to go one more because Sice was just released and I just pulled for all her gear including her FR. I skipped her the first time around and I was actually discussing this party setup and strategy with ScottOng and Destroth, and they probably have done a similar run already by the time this video came up, but it's a very cool and interesting new way because this strategy involves around killing the bosses with Penelo S1 and S2. That's right, her instant turn, Rhumba, Waltz or whatever you call it, Rhumba step and Regen Waltz, I think that's the name of it, will kill the bosses for you. Now you want a starting turn order of Sice followed by Laguna followed by Penelo, and it shouldn't take too many resets to get that because of the difference in their speed. With Laguna, you do need his PT plus though, and if you don't have it, another alternative character that you can consider is Ace. Ace actually works better than Laguna, however only for the fact that Ace's traps last for 6 turns only, which is pretty short, makes it a little bit tricky to play around, but he should still work very well with this strategy. On Laguna's turn, you want to use the Luna Freya LD call, and you have to make sure that Laguna is in party slot 3 so that Penelo and Sice gets quick prayer from the call. With the quick prayer, have Laguna use PT plus and LD for the debuffs, and then as you can see I swap him out for a Kain friend. During this turn, Kain uses LD, AA and BT plus. Unfortunately, this sequence with Kain will add 2 turns to the turn count, so the turn count got a little bit too high for my tastes. But this is the best setup because Kain's PT plus also helps quite a lot in this strategy, and I'll cover a little bit more on that later on. Now coming to Penelo's turn, what I use is Jessie's base call to turn manipulate Kain so that he comes back again. If you don't have Jessie call, you can also use Seed Rains for the turn manipulation or the Onion Knight LDCA for the turn manipulation as well. Either one also works. Because Penelo has the 1 turn quick prayer, you want her first action to be LD. The LD used here is mainly to refresh her overhead so that her overhead has 16 turns remaining instead of the 6 turns that he had at the start. So I pull up Kain's turn so that he acts right after Penelo, and then from here on what you want to do is use her S1 S2 until you are at 100% force gauge, and then after that you can pass her turn back to Kain. Kain's turn coming up here because of the turn manipulation is pretty useful, so right here you can just simply have Kain jump into the air because he's now fully set up. Finally, coming back to Sice's turn again, she should have the 1 turn quick prayer from the Luna LD call earlier on. So what you want to do is use her LD to set up her 15 turns of traps, and then finally end her turn using her force attack. Because Kain is in the air, his turn has been pushed back, so the next turn will always be Penelo's, and that is ideal because right here I'm going to start slaughtering the bosses with Penelo. So are you ready for sheer madness? Let's go! During Penelo's turn, you want to just use either her S2 or S1, either one is fine. And look what happens when I use her S2 or S1. First of all, it triggers Sice's traps once per enemy, and because there's 3 enemies here, you get plus 5% each time. You get tons of damage, and because Sice's traps have activated, you then here get Laguna's Desperado activating once per enemy again. And finally, Kain ends off with lancets. Penelo using S1 or S2 works very well with Sice, because as you can see, when Penelo use S1 or S2, you actually get plus 95%, and because Sice's traps activates 3 times in this fight, you get plus 15%, and finally with Kain lancets you get another plus 5%, so that is a total of plus 115% force gauge bonus per Penelo dance. The only unfortunate thing is that Laguna's Desperado doesn't actually plus the force gauge because it doesn't do any brave damage. And if you are using Ace instead of Laguna, you will actually get plus 130% force gauge bonus per turn, but the drawback is that you do need to somehow refresh Ace's traps again midway because his traps only last for 6 turns. Anyway, because you are increasing the force gauge bonus here by plus 115%, eventually the off-turn damage from Sice's traps, from Desperado and from Kain's lancet will build up to tremendous amounts of damage and will actually kill off the bosses for you. The other reason why this strategy works extremely well is because also of the increased HP damage limit. In case you're not aware, Sice's force time gives you a whopping plus 50% increased HP damage limit if you are hitting elemental weakness. Penelo just standing there gives you plus 50%, and Kain with his BT plus gives you 30%, so all 3 together right now gives you a whopping plus 130% HP damage limit up, which essentially more than doubles the damage from each off-turn attack. Unfortunately, at this point I'm running quite low on Penelo's BT aura because it lasts only for 8 turns. But the good thing is that I'm already at very high force percentage bonuses, and I have the Brothers Summon ready to go, and you know what that means. One turn of BT aura remaining, so this is where I decide to pop my summon. But in reality, really, you can just dance off the remaining 3 turns and the bosses will still die. But I thought this would be a much cooler way to end the fight. So here comes the Brothers Summon nuke, which brings the boss extremely low, and with the final turn of BT aura, I use the Fatal Dance to end the fight. Another way, like I said, is to just dance until you have 1 turn of force remaining, and then use her LD to deal tremendous amounts of damage at 999%, but I really like this finish much better. As always, I hope the video has been helpful, and if you enjoyed the content, do leave a like, comment or subscribe. It really helps a lot. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next Shinryu fight. Bye!